Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Sunday, March the 6th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading, weekly open and gap. As always, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Take a quick look at the monthly bar. You can see, or candle, you can see it's big and it's red. And we are 205 pips below the monthly open, 226 off the high and only 27 off the low. Looking at the weekly, you can see there's a gap that not filled on the pound, and we've got a few pairs that haven't filled the gap so far. Then again, we're only 7 hours into the trading day. Notice we're below the weekly pivot. We're putting in the opening range for the week right now. You can see we're below the opening range for the month and the opening range for the year. 316 pips below the yearly open. You can see here that the yearly low is in the wick zones here of a few of the days from last year that was putting in that last year's low. Inside bar action, we've got a lot on the month, not much on the day, and not too much on the week either. For the range, obviously something's going on in with the euro. It's red across the board, must have to do with what's going on over in the Ukraine. But this is unreal that we have this many pairs over 100 pips in range so far. The pound New Zealand 278, but the euro New Zealand 304 pips in range. Anybody trade those two pairs out there? I'd be interested to see how you did, because it definitely looks like they would have paid off big time today. Buy zone, and we had a couple of buy triggers that looked like would have turned into losses. Some short triggers looks like would have paid off some pips. And we are 17 pips below the daily open, 29 off the high, 24 off the low. Rats, the range is large enough. I do need to check something here on the rat zone, because I think I've got, this one's set at 45 when it should be at 50. But the range is at 52, so it's still large enough. So you can see here, we've had some green rats and some red rats, both enjoying some cheese. Below the pivot, so price near the pivot says bias is short, near S1 bias is long. We got near S1, that would have paid off so far. Okay, we've missed the daily pivot, we haven't hit the weekly, and we haven't hit the monthly. So we might get a reversal sometime and see if we take out those pivots. We'll just have to wait. We've started inside the lower wick zone. We've went out the bottom through the previous day's low, that being a previous trading day of Friday. The range, 53 pips so far, as mentioned earlier. Nothing to write home about. But we have managed to break out of the previous week's low by 17 pips so far. Looking at simple price action here with the Walmart lines. With this range, obviously, there were some pips to be made. Notice we had an outside bar followed by two inside bars here on M30. Then we had a break to the downside, another inside bar, a little break, another break. So You can play these inside bars on just about any chart period you like. Some people prefer the hourly, and then you just say price most likely will break out of those inside bars. It almost has to, especially this early in the day. Price needs the range. And looking at the higher low, lower high, you can see we came off of a one ball here that was preceded by a three ball. And so that's a 3-1-1. And that trade would have paid off nicely. Good for about 20 pips. You can see we put a three ball in, short trigger here. That would have paid off about maybe 10 pips or more, depending on when you punched out. So even this time of day, there's money to be made, especially with what's going on in the world. A lot of volatility, a lot of action here. And let's see, this was the chart I put up, the indicator to show the first day of the month. So we got 3 months now. And you can see we are below those ranges. FDOM first day of the month. Now the theme looks like this month we're talking about trading better. And one of the things about trading better is, I think I may have mentioned it, is that you want to just be a little bit better each day. You want to improve. You want to focus on one area and improve on it. You want to look at your weaknesses, take one of them, and try to eliminate it, eradicate it. In other words, set yourself up so you can't make that mistake. You can't repeat that mistake. And so for each trader, that's going to be different, because those of you who've been following me know I'm big on the horizontal lines. That's what I trade. That's what I run statistics off of them, and that's just what I do. You don't have to do that. But what you really need to do is you have to get rid of the non-essential things in your trading, because chances are there's at least one thing you can eliminate, because it's not really adding anything. It's only probably it's a distraction. It's detracting from your trading profitability. And so you just take a really hard look at your chart and say, is this indicator or these lines, whether they're horizontal or angled or squiggly, is it really doing anything for me? Because I've seen, and I get so many people with requests for the most convoluted, complex trading systems. And I just wonder, because there's just a few basics that just seem really hard to beat. The turn trade, you see a bull followed by a bear candle. You take the trade. You don't know if it's going to be a winner or a loser. You don't know. You might have statistics on your side, but you might also hit a losing streak, 2, 3, 4 in a row. But you don't give up. You keep trading it, because then you might hit a winning streak of 2, 3, 4 or more in a row. And so you can make it real simple. In fact, somebody asked me, they want to know what this indicator was. I answered them, but just in case, it's the 3-level ZZ semaphore that I modified right here. You can get the original, and that'll just give you the balls. But if you want some of the things like these lines, you need my modified version. So here we're just playing off of these lines here put in by the semaphores On the bottom, they're blue. On the top, they're red. And you just take the trade. Also have the M5 highest low, lowest high, because we're on the M5 right here. But here you had a 2-ball. You see, before we broke out of this level, and we're breaking out of it again. A couple of pips at the moment. That might be all you need to be profitable. Do that a few times a day. But I just have to say it, probably sounding like a broken record. Trading really is simple. You don't have to make it complex, but those of you who do make it complex, if you're winning, then stick with it. But I would probably say you're not. And I see more traders trying to reinvent the wheel. I mean, I went down that path, but I chucked all that stuff. I mean, I just put it to the side. I don't use that anymore. Don't need it. It doesn't really give me anything. The simple concept of the lowest high and highest low. I mean, it can be really a killer. Look at what happens here. When you go up to the daily time frame, the swing traders. I mean, it put in a 3-ball here. Okay? And the next candle failed to make it. And you see here it dropped below these lines. You put your trade on, you set your stop loss, and you see what happens. And you can see here it dropped. Or at the bottom, okay, you've got what? A 3-ball. A bear candle, a bull candle. Right there was the lowest high at the moment. You take the trade. Now, it went back and forth a few days, but if your stop was below this line, didn't hit it. And you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't be any simpler than that. So for those of you who like to get in a trade and ride it for days, there's a method. Now, the one thing though, like this, one of the brokers I'm using, it used to pay to hold the pound short overnight. They took that away, so I don't look to be holding anything because I don't want to pay for the privilege of holding, whether I'm long or short. So, and I don't know if there's any pairs out there that are paying any positive swap anymore. I haven't even looked at that indicator or that chart. I mean, it's in the dashboard, or I wrote some other ones. I don't even know if I ever published them because I think they were kind of maybe top secret. I don't know. But yeah, there's some code that I've written that I haven't been able to put out because I might be working with another trader or group of traders and they want to keep things hush hush. So I have to respect and honor that. But back to the point, it's, just keep it simple because, as stated before, a simple algorithm is going to beat your discretionary ball trades almost every time. And you just have to stick with it. It's not, a one trade deal. One trade shouldn't make you or break you. Definitely shouldn't break you. You should have your stop loss in place. Make you, yeah, if you got lucky, like maybe here and you caught a couple hundred pips in a day, yeah, maybe that might make you. But don't count on it, right? So, fellow traders, I hope you had a very fun and safe weekend. And as you're sitting down at your trading terminal, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.